Okay, this is Jeremy. Alright, that's looking good. Great. Yeah, really good progress on this. Let's take a look at Maya. Um, I like that shot. I think this is looking very. You're going to need some breakdown poses in here because it's like the whole body pivots at once. So, um, what I would do is maybe. Yeah, I wonder if the neck even moves here. You could do something. Are these not on whole number keyframes? Tangents? No, sorry, keys. Oh, sorry, just snap. See if they move. Yeah, that one moved a little bit. So it's like her whole body's pivoting from her root, but you would tend to move your head first. So, for example, I'll set a keyframe here on the head, and then, the character could turn their head. See, to me, that's more natural. To break it up like that, so the head moves and the body kind of follows a little bit afterwards. Now here, it's a good cut. I don't like the way that both feet are sliding at the same time so much. I mean, it's good that only one's pivoting, but the feet are real slippery, slidey. Let's do a little focus on the feet for a minute. What's going on with this camera? I think this is the one that's parented or something. It's parented. Yeah, you can't have this camera parented. Is it parented? Yeah, it's parented. So I'm just going to select the camera, do Shift P a couple times, and then let's do View Default View, and then this should be back to normal, and it is. So yeah, I was saying let's focus on the feet, and okay. So first, what I would say is for this foot, between here and here, let's maybe make that one stick. Now it's not impossible it could rotate, although it is penetrating the base of the chair anyways, which we wouldn't want. So I'm going to click here. Oh, this also, you should really take everything. Let's go grab this guy, select all, double click, and yeah, there's a lot of fractional keyframes, and then snap everything to the nearest whole number keyframe. A little concerned about what's going on in here. Why are those? It's like you have multiple keyframes on top of each other. We're going to have to clean up and get rid of some of those, likely. And it seems like there's stuff still at fractional keyframes. It could be because they're too close together, to so they have to stay separate. But anyway, for now, let's focus on the foot, and we can deal with those as they come up. So anyway, if I want this to stay, if I click here and then middle mouse click here, it will update the time without updating the position. Or it should. It's not working. I wonder if that's that weird preference that's causing that. It is. Oh, that's so interesting. Yeah, that animation preference saves one problem, but it causes this problem. So I went into animation preferences under animation, and there's different evaluation modes. What about parallel? My middle mouse click here. Okay, that's working again. So right now, if I go here, if I left click here, it'll move forward. But if I middle mouse click, it will update the time without updating position. And if I set another keyframe, it's in the same position now here as it was here. So see, that foot's staying stable. See, I think that looks better. Okay, but now, and let's keep it there um, till this other foot stops here at 107. So actually I'm going to go back here, middle mouse click here, set a keyframe, and then delete out these two. Shift click and drag, right mouse click delete. And so now, and that is a problematic pose. So I will start just by middle mouse clicking, whoops, middle mouse click here and just redo that, rotate it and maybe move it up some. And you can, you can rotate it just a little bit too. So let's just set a keyframe there. Maybe it needs to be a bit higher. Okay. I mean, the other thing you can do instead of rotating it, let's put the rotation back to 0. And let's put the translate y back to 0, is you can use the roll, which kind of rolls the foot up. That's what it's for. So that way, it'll pivot on the toe essentially and keep the toe on the ground until it's ready to lift off the ground. And then just take a look at this view. And then by here the roll should be back to 0. And I would probably get rid of this. Which rotate is that? Yeah, the X. What? Okay, let's put all these to 0 for a moment. And yeah, something like that. Getting better. I don't like this sort of pause here and then. But that's kind of in the movement too. That's like, anyway. So if this foot's planted here, let's make sure, let's start with these being zeroed out. And let's, whoops, should be there, is that right? And make sure the translate y is at 0, so it's on the floor. Oh, okay, that went berserk. So I'm just going to delete that because that's messed up. Okay, so let's make sure translate y is at 0. Let's make sure translate x rotate is at 0. And why is it doing that? Y is minus 40 flat. That is concerning. Bizarre. So there's something funny here. But let's just try straightening this out now and see if it doesn't freak out on us. Oh yeah, okay, that's better. Yeah, maybe it could be lifted more in the middle here. And if you want, you can land on the heel. And then, yeah, see, this shouldn't be moving here. So I'll click here, middle mouse click here, set keyframe so it stays put. And over a couple frames, this roll can flatten out. Okay. And mouse uses ice skating. That's too big of a step. So let's have, and so I feel like you're trying to move too far in one step. And again, the translate y should be at 0. The x rotate should be at 0. So it should be flat on the ground, but there's still some rotation there. So there's something about the combination of those two that's messing it up. Okay. Let's make sure this foot's lifted up in the middle. And if you want, you can see that's just a really big step all at once. I think you can break this down into more smaller steps. But the main thing I'm trying to show you is the yeah, this is where it's planted, and it should stay planted until, in this case, 151. So all of this can be deleted, and here we'll click here and then middle mouse click here and then set a keyframe. Probably delete this one. Now this is the case where the body is overextending. So, I mean, you can, I think it's just moved too far. Now where is your root control? Why is that over there? That is weird. I think you were moving it with this one, and you should just be rotating it with that one. Which is unfortunate because it means going back and redoing this stuff, but you've sort of lost the control essentially by leaving that guy behind. But yeah, so in this case, you're trying to do too big of a step all at once, I think, and then it's just unnatural, you know. Unless the character's starting to run, in which case you got to speed it up a lot. So I hope you're starting to get the idea of getting the feet to stick, and I think you can work on the arm poses more. You'll have an easier time with the arms when they do not need to rest on something by going into FK mode. You know, you can use these and switch them into FK mode because they require less keyframes, and they'll just kind of move the body, and you can just swing them. So if they're not like braced against something or pushing on the table or something, you can switch them to FK mode and then sort of swing them at the side. So you might want to try that too.